Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're joining us from today. Thank you so much for attending the What's New in Print Portal for BarTender 2021 webinar this morning. We're excited to talk about the new companion app, not new, but just the changes in it. And before I get started, I got a couple of quick housekeeping items. Meeting is being recorded, though you're all on mute. We do ask that you submit any questions via the Q&A, the questions function. We are going to have a hearty Q&A session at the end of the event, and we will follow up on all the questions that are asked, if not live during the broadcast, then shortly after. We will follow up with you directly to make sure that you got the answer you needed. Be sure to opt in to BarTender Communications, and then also we're going to reference another couple of webinars coming up as part of this series. So I wanted to make sure you know of the webinars page on siegelScientific.com. We will be having one at this same time next week on Librarian, and then the following week on license server, focusing on redundancy. You can also watch all of our past webinars on our YouTube channel, and we do have those translated into other languages. And last but not least, I want to take a minute to introduce our presenters. Roberto Posada is our newest sales engineer to the Siegel Scientific BarTender team. It is always a pleasure doing webinars with Roberto. And Ian Cummings is joining us from Madrid, I believe, Ian, and he's our senior sales engineer in the EMEA region. So thanks, guys. We're really lucky to have them, and be sure and take advantage of the question feature so that you can get your answers directly from these guys. So I think I'm all set, and Roberto, why don't you take it away?
Thank you very much, Carolyn, for that amazing introduction. And I want to welcome everybody today. I want to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening for some of you. And I want to welcome you to today's webinar, What's New with Print Portal for BarTender 2021. So let's get started. Let's go over our agenda today. And today we're going to talk about Print Portal, but first we need to understand what Print Portal is and what Print Portal is used for. Followed by that, we're going to demo out Print Portal. I feel it's always best to demo something out instead of going through a deck. And we're going to talk about the new Print Portal user interface. We're going to show you this user interface. We're going to talk about root folders and selection of root folders. We'll come to that and we'll explain what root folders are and what they're used for. We're going to talk about how to change the view, how to navigate inside of Print Portal, allowing us to change the view, the layout, the group, how to sort, how to search. But one important aspect of this, we're going to show you how to change branding on Print Portal. So it matches your corporate colors when somebody logs into your Print Portal. We're going to talk about internet printing and the client print service. Talk about Print Portal authentication and its permissions, as well as including the librarian documents in Print Portal, how this integration works now with Print Portal. We're going to talk about its revision control, workflow integration inside of Print Portal, and we're going to finish with a Q&A, a quick questions and answers today. So let's go to the next slide. Let's get down. Let's talk about Print Portal. So you might be asking yourself, Roberto, so what is Print Portal? Is it a portal to a sunny beach in the Pacific? And no, everybody, it is not a sunny beach to the Pacific, but it is a portal to all your BarTender documents. Print Portal is a web-based companion app for BarTender Enterprise Edition. This companion app allows us to provide you with an interface that allows you to quickly search and locate BarTender documents, and not just search and locate BarTender documents, but you're going to be able to print from that web browser. Since we're using web technology, this means that it's indifferent for Print Portal if you have BarTender installed or not. If you are using a Mac computer, if you're using a Linux computer, if you're using an Android device, or if you're using an iOS device, at the end of the day, you're accessing a web page and you're accessing Print Portal from there and you're printing from there. And this is a huge advantage. Why? Because you're going to be able to allow people inside of your organization or outside of your organization to access Print Portal. And this lowers the cost because you don't have to get IT involved to give access to somebody to these specific labels. On top of that, Print Portal is running on top of Windows IIS. And Windows IIS is a Windows service that allows us to host a website, or in this case, Print Portal on your Windows computer. And by using this, it comes in with built-in security measures. So administrators can require people to log in on the site or even assign users permission that grant them access to only specific documents inside of Print Portal. So here we're actually providing an extra layer of security. We're improving safety and security for your labels. Why? Because we're limiting people based on their user roles. And this helps you reduce time to go to market because with Print Portal, you're able to print to any browser, to any device, to any printer, anywhere, anytime. You will get online approvals, driverless printing, print to PDF, and on top of that, you get a comprehensive security. So all of this comes included in our enterprise package and provides you with Print Portal. So now that we know what Print Portal is, what it's used for, and how to implement it, let's take a look at Print Portal. Let's demo this out, right? Let me go and exit the presentation here. And I'm going to minimize my screen, and we're going to access Print Portal. There are two methods to accessing Print Portal. The first one would be going to any browser and typing the URL. I like using my second method, which is going to start, navigating to BarTender 2021, and going to the Print Portal icon. Once I click the Print Portal icon, this will redirect me to Print Portal, and it brings me to Safari. I'm using Firefox here. So this is our new Print Portal. This is Print Portal for 2021. For those of you that have seen Print Portal previously in our version 2016 and 2019, could let you know there is a huge change in our Print Portal. Roberto, the change is amazing. It's a more modern look. The colors, the graphic user interface response is much better than what we had before. Now we have incorporated the Librarian integration. We have integrated your Librarian here. And Librarian is a companion app that we'll have another webinar exclusively focusing on Librarian, and that's next week. Carolyn mentioned it at the beginning, and I like letting everybody know, hey, next week we're going to have another webinar that's totally focused on this, so you could get more details on this. But we will talk about this integration later on in our presentation. On this side, you are seeing the Librarian folders, and you're seeing your template folders. These are your root folders, and root folders are the folders that hold and contain all your BarTender documents and labels. These folders, you're able to add additional folders and you're able to limit visibility on these folders. And we'll get to that later on in the webinar today. Let's continue navigating inside of Print Portal. Inside of Print Portal, you're able to change the view. It could be between icon and details. A lot of people prefer details because it gives you an admin view of the folders and the files. So let's go inside of a specific label and take a look at the details. Here you're able to print, save, or if you go inside of a Librarian folder, inside of this Print Portal demo one, here we have the Librarian integration, and we'll explain that later on today. Just show you how to navigate between icon and details. And the main difference with details is you're getting more of an admin view for this. We were going to go change and we could go to icons. I personally like going to the icons because it gives me an idea of what the label looks like even before I decide to print it. You're able to group these folders by author, categories, tags, or products, and you're able to sort them ascending or descending by name or the date they were created. One of the powerful tools within the GUI itself is the search option. And a lot of people might ask me why it's so important, Roberto. Imagine you have somebody that logs into your Print Portal and there are 20, 30, 40 root folders here. And inside of each root folder, there are child folders and there's other folders plus the labels. And this person doesn't have enough time to go search through all these root folders. I think it's just easier just to search by name and you populate and search the label, right? Just make it easier. And one of the things with BarTender and with all this companions app, we're trying to make it as simple as possible for you to do what you need to do and get on with your day. So this is how you search and how you navigate with inside of Print Portal. Let's go back to our main print portal, and to go to our main print portal page, we click on the icon, the print portal icon, and it takes us to the main page again. Now, one thing you probably noticing right now that I clicked on the icon, this is identifying with Siegel Scientific. This is more of a bartender print portal. And imagine your customers log in and they see this print portal and they're like, okay, where did I log in? Doesn't have anything to do with the company that gave me authorization to this URL. Is this a scam? And you want it to match your corporate colors. You want it to be you want to change. Let's say you want to add a banner here, or you want to add your brand here. You're able to do that now with Print Portal. To change the branding, we're going to go inside of Administrative Setup, and we're going to go to Branding. Click on Branding here. Once we are in Branding, we're able to change the brand icon. I'm going to go ahead and select the brand icon that I've been using for a couple of the webinars. It's the Waldorf and Son. And here I uploaded a new logo, automatically picked up by Print Portal, and it assigned it and it switched over the logo. Now imagine your banner or your company information here instead of Waldorf and Son. One thing that I always forget to do, and just a heads up, is always click Save. If you do not click Save, the changes will not take effect. Let's go ahead and change some of the colors, like doing the color change, so you could see that you're able to, manipulate the colors to something you think would work for your team. Here, I'm not as good as a designer with colors, but I'm trying my best, just choosing some random colors so you could see the difference between the previous print portal and what the changes I've done to it. So let's click Save. Let's go back to our main print portal, and you could see the changes. Here, you're able to change the color to something else. You're able to change the logo. And now your customers, once you modify and change this to match your corporate colors, your customers are going to log in, or your people inside of the organization are going to log in, and it's okay, yeah, this is the print portal I wanted to reach. So let's go back into Administrative Setup, and I want to talk a little bit about root folders. Let's go ahead and talk about root folders. I explained root folders are the folders that contain all your bartender documents and labels. That's good. But let's use a real life example, a real case scenario here. We're going to add a couple root folders. Now imagine you want to give access to multiple people inside your organization. And of course, there's going to be multiple groups. So it could be a group in Asia that manufactures all your products. It could be a supplier in Asia. It could be a supplier here in the United States. It could be a warehouse in the United States. And then you will have multiple teams that generate labels. And to make it easy on them and make it easy on the person that's administrating the print portal, it's just an easy and common practice to create root folders for them and limit the visibility for that specific group. So we're going to go and create a root folder. I'm going to browse, and I had already inserted a couple root folders down in the web root for the print portal. So I have Asia supplier, then I have Asia warehouse, and here each folder has its own set of files, and we're going to limit these to specific users. So we have the Asia warehouse, we have the Asia manufacturer, and let's keep going. We have US logistics and US warehouse, and the last one, which is US supplier. We do not need this last one. It was just showing you how fast and easy it is to add multiple root folders. And great, these root folders now are available for my user. But one thing I'm pretty sure all of you noticed, once I logged into my print portal, the print portal, there is no security enabled in the print portal. So to best understand this, print portal is a server client relationship. So you have to do something on the server side that tells print portal, hey, whoever logs in has to sign in. You have to enable security. And we're going to go back into Administrative Setup. And right now, because there is no security enabled, I am not able to limit the visibility on my root folders. So we're going to go into Advanced, and we're going to click on Enable Security. Once I click on this, I tap this and I click Save, I'm going to get kicked out automatically of Print Portal. Why? Because Print Portal now knows whoever logs into this URL needs to sign in. On top of that, you're able to add additional security features to your Print Portal. So you could automatically log somebody out if they're inactive in Print Portal. And this comes in handy because you think about it, somebody logs in, they have access to the labels, and they leave the computer, somebody could go to that computer, they're logged into Print Portal, and they could make a change, or they could delete a file, or they could do something could go wrong. And the idea is for them to log them out if they're inactive. I'm not going to enable that because I am the server and I am the client. The other one is require a password to open admin page. I'm not going to enable this because I am the main admin. So I'm going to go ahead and click save. And look at that. Immediately it kicked me out. I'm going to use my account to log back in. My account is rposada. And the next thing we're going to do is limit visibility on root folders. So root folders, you're able to limit visibility, and it could be a group of people, or it could be an individual, a user that you're limiting visibility to. So in my case, I'm logged into my Print Portal as rposada, and what I want to do in today's demo is limit rposada to see the Asia supplier, the Asia warehouse, and the Asia manufacturer. So to do so, let's select the Asia supplier, and look at this now. Now we have the visibility available because there is security enabled on our Print Portal. So visible to all users, that is not going to work for me right now. We're going to click on visible to select the users and groups. Once we are there, we're going to click on the human icon with the with the plus sign. Click on that, and that's going to bring us to the add user and group inside of the Print Portal. See, here we're able to add a domain group, or we're able to add local accounts. In this case, I like using Power User just for the demo today. Click OK. I'm going to go ahead and save that. Let's go to the warehouse one and limit the visibility, but this time, instead of being just a user, we're going to select the group. We're going to use accounting this time. I'm going to save that as well. And we'll do the one for the Asia manufacturer. And here we received a question yesterday, and they were asking, are you able to do a group or an individual? You're able to do both things if you like. You're able to have multiple groups. You're able to do one group, and then you're able to add another user and say, does it belong to that group? And say, go into replicator, that user. We'll add another user as well, just for the demo purpose today. And let's go to Power User, like one I like using. And click OK, save. Now the idea is that this is my user, rposada is not going to be able to see these three folders. Of course, I am the admin. If I come back to the administrative setup, I'll be able to see them from here. But the idea is any other user will go back into their Print Portal and you'll limit the visibility for them. And that's the idea, right? Only certain people are able to access Print Portal, and they're only going to be able to access certain folders and certain documents. You don't want to give access to everybody to all your BarTender documents and labels, right? It defeats the purpose of having security enabled. Now, we talked about what is Print Portal. We've navigated inside of Print Portal, talked about the search option, showed you security, how to limit root folder visibility, how to add additional root folders. But one aspect that we haven't talked about, and I think everybody's might be asking themselves, so when is he going to print? And yes, I think that's the primary function of Print Portal is to print. But before we print, there are two things I need to explain. We already mentioned that this is a server-client relationship. So there are things you have to set up on the print server side, which is the Print Portal, and the other side, the client side. So let's talk about the server side. What do I have to do on the server side? Well, to begin with, you have to enable the service for anybody that logs into your Print Portal to actually be able to print. To enable this service on the server side, we're going to go into administrative setup again, and we're going to go into client printing. Click on client printing. When we click on client printing, it will let us know if the service is enabled or not. Right now, I'm going to be able to print because I am on the server and I'm the same person. But let's say somebody else wants to sign into my Print Portal, they're not going to be able to print at all until I enable this service. So I'm going to go ahead and enable the service. Here, you're able to name the service. I'm calling it Waldorf & Son as well. And you're able to specify your URL. This could be something, it depends on how you configure this, but you are able to use a custom URL as well. So we're going to go ahead and save here. Now, I enabled the service for Print Portal, so anybody that is able to log into Print Portal is able to print now. So how do you print? Let's go into a label I created for this specific demo. Is US Logistics Shipping. Now, let's talk about the client side. The client will log into Print Portal and go to the label they want to print, just like I'm doing right now. Once they click on their label, and it's basically that they click on the label they want to hit, they want to print, and it will redirect them to the print section. Here in the print section, Print Portal will let them know you do not have the client service installed. You need to install it to be able to print. In my case, I already have the client print service installed and running, and that's why I'm able to make a print. Once you install this client service, you'll be able to see the printers on the server is going to be able to see the printers on your computer and on the server. Again, these printers are identical because I am the server and I am the client. When the client connects, the client is the one that allows us to connect that specific computer to Print Portal. That's the one that establishes the link for us and to be able to print. So now, let's say for whatever reason, there are printers that you don't want your customer to have access to, and you want to limit these printers' visibility. And let's go ahead and configure this or show you how you're able to configure this before we actually make a print. So let's click on configure and let's go inside of BarTender web printing settings. These are the settings that allow us to limit what printers are visible for these remote customers of ours. On top of that, we're able to add additional print servers here. So if you want to add another BarTender print server, you're able to add it here. But here is the most important aspect of it is what printers are going to show up for other computers and this computer. And it's the idea, right? Let's say you don't want them to use a specific printers. This is where you limit them to do this. But anyways, we talked about this. Let's go back to the printing. I think everybody's interested in the printing. For today's demonstration, I had put together using a demo printer called Roberto Test Print. And we're going to go ahead and print this out. I have a queue open as well, which is the queue for this printer. It is paused, so anything that's coming in will be paused here, and we are able to see the document that comes in. So let's go ahead and do a print. Click on print. This label is using a form, a data entry, so I'm capturing some data before I actually send it over to the printer. So let's go ahead and populate this. Roberto Posada, that's my name, and I live at 113 South Garvey Avenue. The suite is suite, let's call it 234, and the city is in Covina. Let's use California, and the postal code is 91791. Let's control here and let's change the label code and just use AS7996. And product code will use 103, and the lot number will use lot 1234. Now, once I click print, we'll see the pause here, and BarTender Print Portal will let us know if the document was printed or not. So let's go ahead and print. And look at that, it paused in the queue, so it's there now. I'm sure that the label came through the spooler and it's there to print. If I don't have the printer here, but if I continue, it will make the print. And on top of that, Print Portal even is letting me know what happened. So Print Portal here is letting me know it went to the spooler. It gives me the job name, the document name, and the printer it went to. Now, I know I mentioned PDF printing as well. So Print Portal, on top of just printing, sending the print job to some of your printers, it could actually print a PDF. It could generate a PDF for you. So we're going to do a PDF for this specific logistics label as well. Let's go into print. And let's populate this one. So this time we're going to call myself Alex Lemus. And I live at 2345, and this is South Kansas. Ooh, fat fingers today. Kansas Avenue, and this is apartment 23, and the city is Los Angeles, California, and the postal code is used 98003. All of this is made up information, everybody, and we're going to use AS 7896. Product code we'll use 102, and it's used lot 74125. And we're going to go ahead and print. This will generate a PDF for us that we're able to download or open. I'm just going to click on download, and it's going to open it in Firefox always. So it's going to download for me, and it's going to open. And you can see this is the information what I populated with, and this is how you create a PDF, and this is how easy it is to print inside a print portal, how to search, how to navigate, and how to print. But now, we've talked about the Librarian integration and how important it is, but how would somebody use it in real life, Roberto? And you think about it, let's go into, this is specific US logistics label that we were working on. I should have just stayed there. Let's say for whatever reason, somebody decides, your third party customer, the person is accessing this label, says, oh, look at the logo they're using. This is an outdated logo. Or the barcode we're using is no good anymore. We need to change this barcode to some other specific format. Or they want to remove the product code, or they want to remove the lot number. Not sure, they want to remove the shipping date. They don't want that show up anymore. Or they want to go to a specific version they had, or they want to see versions of the labels. So now they're able to do that because all of that is available now through the Librarian integration. And Ian, could you be kind enough to talk a little bit and tell the audience a little bit about the Librarian integration and how it works with Print Portal?
Sure, Roberto. Yeah. Essentially, first, let's speak about what Librarian is. Librarian is BarTender's document management and revision control system. With this system as part of the BarTender Enterprise Edition, we can really control and manage the process of document design from the start, when it's a draft label design, all the way through to when the document is published and ready for production, ready for use by applications such as the Print Portal web app. As part of Librarian, you can define customizable workflows that specify the process of how that document goes through its design stages, how it can be approved by particular users within your organization, permissions being set so we can control who has permission, who is allowed to do what, and who is denied permission from doing particular actions, and of course to set up notifications. So as a document is working its way through the process, particularly when it gets to approvals, we can notify users by way of an email, which they can then click onto, and that will take them to a page in Print Portal where they can then perform certain document management actions, which is very much integrated with the Print Portal web app. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Ian, and all that great information about the companion app and how it integrates now with Print Portal. Let's check this out in action. Let's take a look at this. Let's go into the details. And I had put together a folder with Print Portal demo, and I had put together a label as well. And let's go into the revision history. So now this revision history is available through the browser. Before, it was just through the companion app. And you are able to take a look at your revision even before you print. You're able to take a look at the history of this revision, what happened to this revision from beginning to end. Or if you want to take a look at the beginning of this label, what happened to this label, and you are able to go through the history. And it's very valuable because you think about it, you have multiple people that are designing and working on this label. There's a track and trace here of what's going on with the label. You could compare a revision 9, and we'll be able to compare it with revision 5. And we're able to see the changes to each revision. We're able to take a look at the status of this right now. This was approved and is in production. Let's say for whatever reason, somebody decides, I want to make a change to this. Before, what would happen was they would have to email the design group, and the design group and with the changes they wanted. And that person in the design group would email back and work and the back and forth of emails. Well, now it's different. With Print Portal and the Librarian integration, you're able to go into your transition workflow if you have the appropriate permissions. Right now, this label's in production, but somebody could come in and say, Roberto, please update the logo, and click submit. So now, instead of being in production, it was changed to design by the person that's printing, that they want to update the logo. I would get an email notification telling me, Roberto, the files are waiting for your review and approval. Now, this person, like Ian just mentioned, has the capability of going into the browser by clicking on that email. It redirected me to the browser, and here I'm able to submit for review. Let's say I made the changes to the label and then uploaded the new label, and the design person says, oh, the changes have been done to the label. Please check. This person now submits this to review, and it's going to go to review, from design to review. These are the 3 states I created for my workflow: design, review, and production. So the next email that I should get would be similar to this email, but this one would be for me to approve if this is going to go into production, if I reject it or approve it. In this case, everything checks out, approved. And this person approves and submits. Now, your customer, the person that is requesting this, they're not going to see anything in the back end. All of this is done in the back end. The only reason you're seeing all of this is because I am the main user, right? I'm the super user, and I'm the host, and I'm everything. But the idea here is to make their life as easy as possible. Where they want to change, all they have to do is go into their transition workflow and request a change. Somebody's going to get notified, somebody's going to make the change, and everything is going to be done through the rules that you assign to the specific workflow for each of the individual folder, or you're able to do it for a group of folders. And this is how Print Portal and Librarian work together in conjunction, making your life easy as the admin, or the person that's you think about it, you're using Print Portal and you're using Librarian to centralize all your bartender labels and control how people manipulate and change labels. And it's all rules that are set up by you. And all of this is, through a browser. You don't have to have BarTender installed. And it's just really, really easy to do all of this. So this was the first 25 minutes of what Print Portal is and how to navigate and how to use Print Portal. Now you think about the advantage you're going to have when you allow customers to access your labels from there. It's just an amazing companion app for our enterprise solution. So we're going to go ahead and minimize today. We're going to go back to our presentation, and we're going to start off with our Q&A. So if we have questions, Ian, if you could go ahead and get started with those today.
Yes, indeed, we do have some questions. So question number 1 from the attendees: where can I find detailed technical information on our driverless printing capability, and how does that actually work?
Ian, could you answer that question for me, please? Could help that
Sure.
customer out. Yeah, thank you.
I'll do my best. So we have a technical document, a white paper, that's available from our website under the Support Center website. In that document, we do mention driverless printing, but admittedly, we don't go into a lot of detail on exactly how it works. Essentially, what we mean by driverless printing is that the precise printer model, a printer driver for that printer model is not installed on the web server, so not on the same computer where the Print Portal web application is running. Instead, the printer driver is on the client side where the web browser is running. What we do, or what Print Portal does, is it prints using it prints to an intermediary file format, and it's that file format that is streamed down to the client side, and that file is understood by the client print service, and from there it's produced as a regular Windows print job, sending it to the printer via the Windows print queue. So essentially we're using an intermediary driver, so to speak, which generates an intermediary type of print job, which is then understood on the client side and produced as a print job on the client side to the printer.
This is all if there is no driver installed on the client side.
You don't need the printer driver installed on the server side, which really does reduce the amount of provisioning that's required by your IT department. So you can get up and running with a new user who perhaps has a completely unique or new type of printer. They can get up and running and printing straight away.
Without a problem, without having to involve IT. And all of this is connected through our client print service. And like you're able to see the printers I'm exposing to the server and the ones that are able to access it through here. And your clients will be able to see them, similar to what I'm seeing showing here.
Yes. Okay, next question. How can a remote user securely log in to a print portal if they are not a user on my particular network? So I guess someone who's external from the organization that is running the web server.
And the easiest way to do this would be, my suggestion is to create a Windows user, adding them as a Windows user and restricting them to BarTender security policies as a print portal user only. So you'll create a user for them and restrict through Windows policies that they're only able to access print portal. And they can use that Windows user and password to gain access to any of the sections of print portals, as I've done so far. Hope that answers the question.
Okay, next question. An attendee here is using Chrome on an Android device. How does it work? It's not finding the server's IP address. It's not found. I guess what they're doing is they have their PC in their office and they have a phone and they're trying to connect to the web browser using the phone. How would they do that?
Oh, they would, it's similar to what I'm doing. They would have to know the URL for print portal to know that URL administrative setup. And when you go to client printing, that is the printer URL. If it should be localhost /bartender, but it's more of how you set this up. I'm not following that question 100%, Ian.
I guess the issue might be that they're not on the same network. So maybe the phone is using a cell connection, therefore is not on the same network as the PC.
That's key. I'm sorry, I should have mentioned that. Good point, Ian. You have to be on the same network as the phone and the computer if it's not a public URL yet.
Next question from an attendee. So they have the print portal Android or iOS app. How can they connect to print portal in BarTender 2021?
So at this moment, they are not compatible. Our iOS and Android apps are not compatible. We should have a release of these apps later on this year that are going to be compatible for our print portal 2021. At this moment, I would suggest to use the web browser on your device until we have compatible apps for our print portal 2021.
Okay. Question. How does the licensing model handle all the unknown printers that may print via the driverless printing? So if IT running...
go ahead. Could you take that one, Ian?
Sure, I can do that.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
Okay, so essentially, whether you're printing using our optimized printing, the driverless printing, or even in a certain sense, the PDF printing, we're still licensing those printers using the license server, which keeps a track of printer usage. And the license server does its best to uniquely identify each printer that we're printing to, whether we're using standard Windows printing or if we're using cloud printing or even PDF printing. When it comes to cloud printing, be it optimized or driverless, the client print service, so this is the Windows service that's operating on the client browser PC, when it exposes the printers that it wants to be able to print to, it helps us to uniquely identify those printers. So if you then choose to print to that printer as a target, we already have enough information that uniquely identifies to us the model of the printer and the destination address of the printer. And of course, if that's a different model and a different address that it's going to, then we'll know to recognize it as a unique printer and therefore track it as part of licensing.
Thank you, Ian. It's good. We still have several other questions, right?
Yes, and we have more streaming in as we speak.
It's a good thing. It's good.
If I enable a librarian workflow, all my labels in Print Portal must follow it. Is that a correct assumption?
Well, it is a correct assumption, but you're able to limit the workflow to specific folders or group of folders and give me a second here. Let me open my Print Portal. But the idea is that you create a workflow and you say, I want to apply this workflow to one folder, to one specific folder. So it's only that workflow rules that will govern that specific folder. So you have that ability to create multiple workflows and have multiple folders inside of one workflow. Hope that answers the question.
Hopefully so.
Yeah. Yeah, what other, I see a lot of questions here, Ian.
Yes, I'm trying to keep track of them. Here's a question. Is the custom branding configured on the Print Portal page itself, or is this a config, or is it also perhaps something you can do in a configuration file somewhere?
From what I know, you are able to change it from the web page itself. And I've not tested this myself, but I'm pretty sure there is a config file. If you could shed some light on that, Ian, I'm pretty sure there is a config file where you're able to configure things and change color schemes to Print Portal. But
well, I suppose that information is stored somewhere, but I'm not familiar with it myself. So thanks for asking that question in return.
I'll find out and we'll get back to you, and we'll email you back with that information. But I'm pretty sure there must be something where it could configure.
Question: has BarTender improved speed in creating spooled print files when the quantity and users increase? In the past, it may have taken some time.
I'm pretty sure with Print Portal 2021, there is improvements for speed and printing and sending to the spooler. It's more of testing and seeing the difference between what you were running and what we're running now.
Yes, generally speaking, in BarTender 2021, we essentially re-engineered the web application, making use of much more modern web technologies. So the user interface itself is much more responsive. But also when it comes to the printing and the scalability of the web application, we did a lot of re-architecting there as well. So you should find, even on a web server that is being hit by many print requests, it will handle those requests in a much more scalable fashion. But certainly we'll be interested to get users' feedback as to how that is actually the case.
Log back in. It was my Firefox was unresponsive, but it's back on. So, Ian, we're just going to go ahead and finish today's presentation. We're going to answer all your questions, the ones that we did not address in the webinar. Later on today, I'll touch base with Ian and we'll go over them and reply back to you. And take advantage of Print Portal. And if you want to get a quote, if you want to contact us or get more information about Print Portal and this companion app, you are able to email our sales team. As well, keep in mind that during this month, we're going to have multiple webinars that focus on specific companion apps. Today was Print Portal. Next week is Librarian. Next week, we'll talk about backup and redundancy. And all this month is all about the new companion apps and the changes that for our companion apps in our Enterprise Edition. So I want to thank everybody today for spending some time with us, coming over to our webinar. I know it was early in the morning for some of you. Some of you it's late in the evening. But I want to thank you for spending some time with us and hearing us out. And have a good day. Have a good rest of your day, and keep safe and keep healthy. Enjoy your day. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Roberto. Thank you, Ian. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye bye.